everybody, it's Elisa Rogers and I'm back with Simply Southern Recipes by Rocket City Girls. It's starting to get cooler out and I thought, what a perfect time for some good old chili. So today we are going to put together some chili, some coleslaw, and some jalapeno cornbread muffins. So what we're starting off with right now is we are going to sort and pick out any rocks or bad beans or anything. 3 cups of dry pinto beans. After we get them sorted, we're going to rinse them and put them in our pot, and then I'll show y'all what else to do. I got my beans rinsed and sorted, and remember, 3 cups. Now you can go 4 cups if you want to, but we just did 3 cups. And now I am going to add 2 bouillon cubes. Now we're doing this in our Instant Pot because it takes hours off of having to tend to your beans. I mean, if you do it on the stove, I would suggest just boiling them for 1 hour, then covering them, and then putting them on low and cooking them for another 4 hours. And if you like them soupy, after 3 hours, take that lid off and put them up to like a medium low, almost a medium, and kind of boil some of that water off so that the beans get thicker. This right here saves us a lot of time. I've got 1 quart of water that I'm adding to it with my 2 bouillon cubes. And now I'm fixing to add my 2nd cup of water, quart that is, because those beans are going to plump and swell. And as you cook your chili throughout the day, that water evaporates. So there's 2 quarts of water. Now we're going to put this in our Instant Pot for 40 minutes. It's been 40 minutes and this is what my beans look like in the Instant Pot. Sorry for it fogging up on you. We just release the pressure, and now we're going to transfer these into a large stock pot. Now that our beans are done, we're going to go ahead and get this cornbread going because it's got to cook for about, 40 minutes, something like that. So I've got 2 cups of cornmeal mix, not just plain cornmeal, or you have to add baking soda and baking powder to that. This is the mix. So I add 1 large egg. Now this is jalapeno cornbread now. This is some good stuff. I add right at a tablespoon of just regular vegetable oil. Then I add a big heaping spoonful, like a tablespoon, of sour cream. Gives it a wonderful flavor. I have got 1 large jalapeno here, cut up, diced up, seed and all, because we like ours a little spicy. There we go. I've got 1/4 of a cup of diced yellow onion. Okay. I've got a little bitty 6-ounce can of whole kernel corn that I'm adding to this. Now, I have got 1/2 of a stick of real butter, melted, that I'm adding to this. Talk about good. Oh my gravy, this is good. Now, I also have 4 ounces of extra sharp cheddar cheese shredded that we're adding to this. And we're making muffins. We're not making a skillet of bread. We are just doing muffins right now. Now, it varies each time. So what I do, I just pour a little buttermilk. Then I start stirring until everything gets incorporated together and well mixed. Now, buttermilk is really going to kick this off and make it so delicious. There's nothing better in the world than good old Southern buttermilk cornbread. And then add it to this. Oh, Lord have mercy. So I'd have to say that was a good cup and 1/4, something like that, of buttermilk that I just added to this. You don't want it thin. You want it like a cake batter. Just like that. And then you put it into your prepared muffin tins. Alright guys, got my muffin tin here. I have put not only lard all over it and on the inside, I also, just to make doubly sure it doesn't stick, sprayed it with non-stick cooking spray. So let's get these things loaded, and then we will put them in a 375-degree oven until nice and golden brown. Probably take about 30, sometimes 40 minutes depending on your oven. Now it's time to get the meat started. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 pounds of ground beef here. I always like to add a little Dale's or some kind of steak marinade to take away that hamburgery taste. Sometimes it's not so pleasant, especially if you're cooking like a chili or spaghetti or something. It kind of shines through. And I have got a half of a large yellow onion diced up here. We're adding that too. Okay, now we're going to continue cooking this until it's done, and then we'll drain the grease. Alright, time for us to drain this meat. So we've got our beans in our stock pot now. It's time to add our cooked hamburger meat and onions with that 1/4 of a cup of Dale sauce. We drain the grease off. Add all that yummy goodness. Woo-wee. And he's got to scrape some of the onions out of the bowl, because more's better, of course. So we've got our meat and our beans put together. Now this happened in less than an hour. So got 2 cans of diced green chilies that we're adding now. These have such a wonderful flavor, and they're not hot. These are mild. You might once in a blue moon find a hot green chili, but very rarely. Okay, so there's my 2 cans. There. Now, I'm adding 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes to this. Now, I always add just a little bit of water in my can. Just enough to cover the bottom. Pour that in there. There we go. Now, stir this all up real good. I'm here to tell you, this is one of the best chilies you'll ever put in your mouth. Okay, now I have a little 6-ounce can of tomato paste. I add the whole thing because I'm adding extra water. You want it thick, but you just don't want it real thick. When I add warm water to my little can here, and I add 3 cans of warm water. Okay, there's my first can of water. I'll get 2 more. Second can. Third can. There we go. Now, I'm going to stir this all up and incorporate it before I start adding my spices. Our jalapeno cornbread's done. Time to season. Now, I use 1/4 of a cup, which is equal to 3 tablespoons. Oh! Of chili powder. We'll just put a little in that one. There we go. So, then I do 2 tablespoons, and we'll say heaping, of paprika. One teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon onion powder. That's 1 teaspoon of cumin. 2 teaspoons of cumin. 1 teaspoon of crushed red chili flake. For that little something something. And as always, you add your salt to taste. I usually, good rule of thumb, just go right over the top, and then I stir it in and taste test it like every 20 minutes to see if it's the consistency that I want it at. And if you want a little extra garlic, or if you'd like to add some cayenne or something like that, go for it. You can make this your own. But this is a very good, budget-friendly family meal. Very easy to do and delicious. We are back, and now we are going to make us some slaw for our chili. Now this isn't just like any other kind of slaw. This is really, really delicious slaw. And what I have here is purple, green cabbage mixed together, and then I used a whole large carrot as well. So that's all shredded. I just cut the very bottom part off each cabbage head. I would have to say measure it out. That's probably about 3-4 cups worth. So here I've got a cup and a half of just regular good mayonnaise. I have diced up a ripe tomato, 2 green onions right here diced up. Now let's get on with our dressing. So our dressing consists of that mayonnaise. There's 1, 2. Okay. Now, to amp it up just a little bit, we use 1/4 of a teaspoon cayenne pepper. Just like that. Okay. This is celery seed. We are adding that. We do 1/2 of a teaspoon celery seed. Okay. Now, put my tomatoes in there. My green onion. There's all different ways that you can make slaw. Sweet slaw, spicy slaws, all different kinds of ways. But this one really goes well with the chili. There is our slaw dressing. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour this over my cabbage and get it mixed up. And we'll put our meal together in just a sec. So our mixture is all put together. Now I add the salt. And like I said, good rule of thumb, just sprinkle over the top of it and then try it. If you like a lot of salt, just keep adding a little more. But usually that little sprinkle across the top is good for me and my family. Alright everybody, this is the end result. This is our chili. There's enough here to feed a family of 4 for at least 2 to 3 nights. Our slaw, very spicy slaw. Put a little extra sharp cheddar cheese on, and our jalapeno cornbread. This is the most budget-friendly, delicious meal in the world. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe, tell your family and friends, and join us again for another Simply Southern recipe by Rocket City Girls soon.